Coming up in this episode, I break out the Ruger 1022.22 LR and we go walking and stalking for a few bunny rabbits down on the farm. This is rabbit shooting and this is Team Foxer. Well, hey guys, and thank you very much for tuning in. In the last couple of episodes, we were looking at HIKMICRO's new day and night scope on the air rifle tackling the rats. And boy, was that a target-rich environment. So if you haven't seen that, then please make sure you watch that video. Myself and Dwayne have been out on the rats more recently, so I've got another good ratting episode coming up real soon for you. But tonight I have put the Alpex scope on my 22 LR because we're going after rabbits. I'll be spotting using HIKMICRO's GQ35L spotter with its built-in laser rangefinder. Very handy for confirming those distances. I expect to be shooting rabbits somewhere between 60 and 100 yards. So I've sighted the rifle in at 70 yards. I've also been swapping out my usual tripod sticks, the Primos Gen 3 trigger sticks with the Team Foxer Nate Vision clamp on top for something a little bit more substantial. On loan from Scott Country, I have the REKON CT3 HD, the 260 Rips Signature Edition tripod. It's a bit of a beast. I have been out foxing with it with Rick and given it a thorough testing, so you can see a bit more of an in-depth review and my final thoughts on that coming up real soon. But for now, let's head over to the farm and see if we can catch ourselves some wascally wabbits. Now, just recently, the weather has proven fairly tricky. A couple of weeks ago when I was here with Rick, we actually shot 7 foxes that night, but it was pretty foggy, so it's a damn good job we were using the thermal. And tonight, there isn't much wind, especially around the barn, so you have to tread very carefully, keep glassing or using the thermal to spot where the rabbits are and seeing which ones are still twitching around and moving, and see which ones are in range. I sight a couple of rabbits out in the field, get ready on the sticks, confirm the ranges before I get ready for the first couple of shots. To range a rabbit, it's easy enough to do. Simply put the little box on the target, press the button and it will read you your range. Just remember to remove your finger out of the way of the lens, Robin. This one is at 77 yards, just over my 0 point. It's a good start. As we move further into the field, Rick takes over spotting for me. He tells me that this muntjac deer here is just over 100 yards. 100 yards. This rabbit here is at 89 yards, so I put the crosshair just on the top of the head and go up to 4 times mag and drop it where it stands. This muntjack's at 72 yards. So I took that little bit of video clip of the muntjack there to show people, again because I'd only used it so far on close range stuff, what some of the medium range footage looked like with a relatively low powered IR torch, the KL52, the O-Pro KL52 there. And that muntjack being 72 yards means that this rabbit, which is just to the right of it, would be a little bit just over my 0 point. So again, it should be another headshot, this one. And it is. The noise of the shot didn't seem to bother the munty too much. He just stood there and watched and observed me go about my business. This rabbit here is 64 yards. The good thing about using that 10-22 Ruger is the follow-up shot happened just 2 seconds later. But it's time for a mag change. Again, another good thing is the magazine fits nice and flush to the bottom of the rifle, giving you another 10 rounds. Those Ely Match rounds certainly hit hard. More muntjack now, this one at 119 yards. You can see another one much further down, probably another good 100 or so yards further on from that. The picture through the Alpex, to me, still looks nice and sharp. It will be interesting to, at some stage later on, perhaps later this month, put it on the Foxing rifle and get some fox footage with it. This one's too busy eating to be bothered by my futile attempts at squeaking it to try and get it put its head up. But you can see the eye shine of the one down there, which again is well in excess of 200 yards away. Anyway, back to the rabbits. This one's a misfire to begin with. Here the tree line is 160 yards, so I zoom in and also concentrate the beam a little bit on my IR to illuminate this rabbit here. But again, 160 yards, you can still very clearly identify that there as I move a little bit closer to the tree line to go and take out this little bugsy. I've got this one hiding up just inside the grass here. I can see it clearly enough through the thermal. Ideally I need it to just move out a little bit so I can see it a bit better using the infrared scope, and as if it read my mind, out it pops to play. I can tell there's getting some moisture in the air now because again I have another slight jam in the magazine. That is one of the downsides to a 10-22. That, owners, I'm sure you'll be more than aware. After a lengthy picking up session with Rick, we've got 18 so far in the bag, and I couldn't go home without leaving on an even round number. So I've got 2 rabbits in play here, and fortunate enough this one comes just a little bit closer towards my 0 point, meaning we can go for that definitive headshot. But if I can get these 2 remaining bunnies, that will be a good night's work. Well guys, we've come to the end of this evening's rabbit session. It was certainly a good test for the new Alpex scope there at medium ranges, and I was able to film deer at plus 100 yards. I've not got an overly powerful IR on the Alpex, but it does go to show that it's certainly more than capable for medium range hunting with a relatively inexpensive IR. Something else that's helped massively tonight is the REKON tripod system that's on loan from Scott Country, so a big shout out to those guys for letting me borrow one of these. This one is one of the larger ones. It's certainly very good for foxing. It is a little cumbersome for rabbit control, but one thing you cannot deny is just how sturdy it is for taking those shots. Thermal, another useful tool there, the GQ35L with its rangefinder, especially when the gun is only sighted in at 70 yards, that rangefinder helping there as well. Thanks ever so much for watching, take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting.